स्वामिन् नमस्ते नतलोकबन्धो कारुण्यसिन्धो पतितं भवाब्धौ मामुद्धरात्मीयकटाक्षदृष्ट्या ऋज्व्यातिकारुण्य सुधाभिवृष्ट्या स्वामिन्नमस्ते 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 यत्कीर्तनं यत्स्मरणं यदीक्षणं यद्वन्दनं यच्छ्रवणं यदर्हणं लोकस्य सद्यो विधुनोति कल्मषं तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः। विचक्षणाय चरणोपसादनात् संगं व्युदस्योभयतोऽन्तरात्मनः विन्दन्ति हि ब्रह्मगतिं गतक्लमाः तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः। तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः। तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः। जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु। The last 2 days, we saw how Akrura, when commissioned by Kamsa, was going to Vrindavan, how he was thinking of Lord Krishna, thinking about him and imagining what all will happen when he reaches Vrindavan, how Krishna will behave with him, look at him, talk to him. And all those we saw. He was thinking that when he goes to Vrindavan, on his way he was thinking that I must have done something very good. Some dana also I must have given in charity. I must have done a lot of tapasya. That is why I am being sent to Vrindavan to bring Krishna. Although Kamsa is supposed to be very, very cruel, for me he has become very generous, because only it is because of him that I am able to go to Vrindavan and I will be meeting Krishna physically. He was thinking all this, how he will look at Krishna and will do pranam to Krishna's feet, the feet which the yogis contemplate upon, meditate upon. How he will be looking at the beautiful face of Krishna with high cheeks, high nose, and a smile which is full of love and compassion, eyes which are like red lotuses. He was thinking all that, and he thought, when I see him, I will get down from my chariot immediately and I will fall at his feet. And he will look at me with so much of love, so much of oneness, as if I belong to him. And he will keep his hands on my head. Like this he kept on thinking. And he was also thinking that, will Krishna think that I am his enemy? No. He cannot think so. Because I am his devotee. And he being the Antaryami, he will definitely understand that I am devoted to him. I wanted to see him. That is why I have come. When I fall at his feet, he will look at me, he will lift me up, and then he will embrace me with his powerful long arms. And that moment, having had the physical touch of Krishna, being embraced by Krishna, I will feel that this human birth of mine is worthwhile and I will be fulfilled. He also thought that when Krishna will look at him and will lift him up, and having given an embrace, will call him, "Oh Akrura, you have come." Then he will have so much of feelings. He will feel so happy and delighted that he will not know what he should do. He will cry out aloud that, "All of you come and see how blessed I am." Like this, while he was thinking and going, it became dusk, and at that time he reached Vrindavan. He has started early in the morning, but he must have gone very slowly, so it was late in the evening that he reached there. When he reached there, he saw Padani tasyakhila lokapala kirita jushtamala padareno dadarsha goshthe kshitikaautukani vilakshitanyabja yavankushadhyaihi padani tasyakhila lokapala kirita jushtamala padareno dadarsha goshthe kshitikaautukani vilakshitanyabja yavankushadhyaihi. Imagine the scene. And we must be sitting along with Parikshit, where Shukadeva is telling this story to Parikshit about Akrura going to Vrindavan. What has happened now? What is the scene? Akrura has reached Vrindavan and he has entered Vrindavan. As soon as he has entered Vrindavan, what did he see? He saw footprints of Lord Krishna. Krishna as a Kishora, as I told you earlier, he used to go grazing the cattle along with his friends. His feet had marks of lotus, grain, and ankusha, that is hook. His feet had those marks. So wherever footprints were having those marks, Akrura saw, "Oh, these are the footprints of my Lord. This is Krishna's footprint." And thinking that on these paths my Lord has tread, he started having horripilation. And, when long back I had gone to Amarnath, very, very difficult trek, and we were walking. I was sometimes riding a pony. The day the darshan had to be there, early morning, we got up. Whole night it had snowed. And the whole atmosphere was white in color. Everywhere it was white and white. And when we started early in the morning, we found that as far as we could see, there were dots, black dots, going in a curved manner. If we looked intently, we found those dots were moving, like ants moving. They were the pilgrims. So many sages, so many sannyasis, so many householders, so many devotees, they were just walking. They would have got up even earlier than we had, and they had started their trek. Looking at that, I was thinking, suddenly there was a thrill. And I thought, for ages and ages and ages, people risking their life, oblivious of whatever is happening to him, take to these treks to pilgrim spots, even if it is quite difficult. Similarly, I felt that here this path must have been tread by Swami Vivekananda also, because I had read that he had gone to Amarnath. So this kind of feeling, happens to every devotee. The feeling that, oh, so many devotees must have tread this path. Where here Akrura was thinking, Krishna has tread this path. and thinking that taddarshana vivriddha sambhramaha premnordhvaromashu kalakulekshanaha rathadabaskandhyasa cheshvacheshtata prabhoramunyangri rajamsyaho iti. He became so ahladit, he became so delighted, so excited that he started having profuse tears. All his hair stood on end. He was having horripilation, and he jumped out of the chariot and started saying, "This is the dust of my Lord's feet. This is the dust of my Lord's feet." And he started rolling on the ground. He was smearing the Vrajadhuli in his whole body, and he was shedding tears. This is what happens to devotees, When they completely get absorbed in the Lord, this is what happens. Nishamya karmani gunan atulyan viryani leela tanubhih kritani yadati harshot pulakashru gadgadam protkantha udgayati rauti nrityati yadagrahgrastaiva kvachid hasatyakrandate dhyayati vandate janam muhushvasan vakti hare jagatpate narayanetyatmamatirgatatrapaha tadapuman mukta samasta bandhanaha tadbhava bhavanukritashaya kritihi nirdagdha bijanushayo mahiyasa bhakti prayogena sametya dhokshajam bhakti prayogena sametya dhokshajam. Beautiful slokas, If only we could understand everything, what it says. Nishamya karmani gunana tulyan. When a devotee hears the unparalleled excellences and the sportive deeds of the Lord, the Supreme Lord, Viryani leela tanubhih kritani, supreme deed, the excellences and the exploits and deeds of the Lord, when? In the incarnations. When the Lord, who has no birth, no death, no change, He is all-pervading and eternal, He becomes limited and takes a body. In those incarnations, what has He done? How has He behaved? What play has He done? Who were His devotees? When a devotee hears about Him, what happens to the devotee? Bhagavata says, Yadati harshot pulakashru gadgadam. If we really think about Him, think about the Lord, and we become identified with whatever Leela He has played, this should happen to us. What should happen? Yadati harshot pulakashru gadgadam. Yada atiharsha. Atiharsha means intense delight. We'll experience intense delight. Why do we not experience intense delight? Because our mind is scattered. Our mind is not one-pointed. Even though we are hearing, even though we are reading, we do not contemplate. Our mind goes to other things. Maybe the son, maybe the daughter, maybe some quarrel, maybe something you have lost. Somebody has not given you enough importance and has criticized you. All those thoughts keep on moving and making our mind agitated, depressed, and whatnot. But if the mind is one-pointed, the mind understands that whatever I may have many, many belongings in this life, but in my life the Supreme is the Lord. Then, when he hears about Him, mind does not get deflected. Yadati harshot pulakashru gadgadam. Ati harsha. He becomes intensely delighted. And ashru, the eyes shed tears. The voice becomes choked, it becomes gadgada. Protkantha udgayati rauti nrityati. At that time, the devotee wants to sing loudly, protkantha. With a loud voice, open voice, he starts taking God's name. And udgayati, rauti, nrityati, sometimes sheds tears, sometimes starts dancing. Like yesterday when we went to Hatha village and Nama Sankirtanam was there, so many people were dancing. Our Swamiji was dancing and around him many were dancing. Why? Because at that moment the Nama Sankirtana has brought about a delight which is near to God. Yadagrahagrastaiva kvachit hasatyakrandate dhyayati vandate janam muhu shvasan vakti hare jagatpate narayanetyatmamatirgatitrapaha. As if yada grahagrastaha, as if he is possessed by something. He starts laughing, dancing, crying, as if he has been possessed by something. And he sometimes cries, he sometimes laughs, sometimes he simply keeps quiet and contemplates on the Lord. Sometimes he starts saluting everybody. He goes to everybody and finding God in that person, he starts saluting. And in doing so, what happens? He starts taking breath heavily. His breath becomes heavy and he starts crying out, Hare, Jagatpate, Narayana, like this, Lord's name he calls out. Narayanetyatmamatir gatatrapaha. Gatatrapaha means gata lajjaha. He does not feel shy. Without any shyness, he cries out Lord's name. Most of us, we are shy to call out Lord's name. When Swamiji says, I will chant 3 times Omkara, every time he has to say, all of you have not chanted. Please join it. Because people are shy to chant. People are shy to take God's name. They feel, oh, what will others think if I take God's name? So, when this happens, when the bhakti, the devotion, it gets deepened, it becomes more intense, this happens, one becomes completely devoid of shyness. And Atmamatihi, he surrenders mind and heart to the Lord, to the Supreme Lord. He surrenders himself. His mind and heart becomes completely absorbed in the Lord. He becomes one with the Lord and he starts taking Lord's name loudly and openly. Tadapuman mukta samasta bandhanaha tadbhava bhavanukrita kritihi. Tadapuman, when that happens, what happens? That we forget everything. We don't remember our sorrows and griefs. We understand that there is a state where we can go, we can attain that. We transcend everything and we feel that there is only one refuge in this world, who is the Supreme Lord. And taking his name, we become as if intoxicated. We start sometimes crying, sometimes laughing, sometimes dancing, sometimes singing his name loudly. Tada. Tada means then. When this happens, then what happens? Bhagavatam is saying, Tada puman mukta samasta bandhanaha. At that time, man gets rid of all bondages. We are always bound. We are not free. Whatever we may have lot of wealth and comfort and everything, good house, good family, but still we feel that there is a vacuum. Still we feel that something has to be attained. And sometimes we feel, why are we so constricted? When will we become free? So many problems come up. Stress, strain, anxiety. In the heart of heart, we feel that, oh, is there no state? When will I become free? This is the story of everybody. Nobody knows, mostly, commonly, ordinarily, people do not know how to become free. So when the mind becomes one-pointed and the devotion deepens, then what happens? Tada puman mukta samasta bandhanaha. He gets rid of all kind of bondage and he starts feeling free. All that is there in the life, that remains, but he knows how to float, how to go beyond everything, how to feel free in spite of every kind of difficulty that he faces. Tada puman mukta samasta bandhanaha tadbhava bhavanukrita kritihi. And what happens? In body and mind and intelligence, he becomes one with the Lord. He becomes so one with the Lord that nothing affects him anymore. This is what we want in life. Unaffectedness. Unaffectedness is liberation. What is our problem? Why is our grief and suffering? Because by everything that happens, we become affected. If we can go to that state of unaffectedness, that is liberation, that is freedom. So when the mind becomes one with the Lord in one's own heart, then there is no constriction. One becomes unaffected. And what kind of unaffectedness is this? Nirdagdha bijanushayo mahiyasa bhakti prayogena sametya dhokshajam. Like when some seed is there and that seed is set fire, it burns off and becomes ash. From that ash, nothing can sprout. Similarly, the desires, the tendencies, all the evil tendencies and the subtle desires which are there, the ignorance that is there, all gets simply burnt off by bhakti. The bhakti is so intense that nothing matters anymore. All the petty things the mind was complete giving indulgence to, all those simply gets burnt off. And mahiyasa bhakti prayogena. The bhakti becomes so mahan, so intense, so much it becomes one-pointed. Sametya dhokshajam. One attains adhokshaja. Who is adhokshaja? The Lord, Sri Hari. Adhokshaja is his name. So, by this kind of a bhakti, adhokshaja is attained. Adhokshajalambhamiha shubhatmanah sharirina samsriti chakrashatanam tad brahma nirvana sukham vidurbudhaha tato bhajadhvam hridaye hridishwaram tato bhajadhvam hridaye hridishwaram tato bhajadhvam hridaye hridishwaram. So by this kind of a bhakti, which Akrura is having. Why I am telling you these slokas? Because Akrura had this bhakti. He had been constantly thinking of Lord Krishna, and now he has come to Vrindavan. And he saw the footmarks of Lord Krishna. He felt that, oh, Krishna has been going this way. These are Krishna's footprints. And this is the dust of his feet. He jumped from the chariot and he started rolling on the ground and smearing that dust all over his body. He had attained that bhakti. He attained that state where right from the time when Kamsa told that you go, and he took to that chariot, he started going, and now he has come there. All this while he has contemplated on the Lord alone, nothing else. And he has reached that bhakti which is one-pointed, and he has attained the adhokshaja. He has become one with the Lord at this time, the highest attainment a human being can have in this life. Unfortunately, we do not understand that. We feel our attainment is our degrees, our status, our post, our profession, our business, our money, and our bank balance. Everything we give importance. We feel that is the attainment in life. But, dear souls, that is not the attainment in life. Having had all these things, one is not happy. We have to understand why we are not happy, why we are lacking, what we should seek so that we are happy ever and ever and ever. So Akrura is attaining that, he has attained that. Adhokshajalam bhamiha shubhatmanah. Actually, right at that moment, what has happened? Because of mahiyasa bhakti, the intense bhakti, the upsurge of bhakti that he had, he feels he is embraced by the Lord in his own heart. That embrace, which is much, much superior than any other embrace in this life, he has had this. And he feels purified, he feels free, he feels completely liberated. Tad brahma nirvana sukham vidurbudhaha tato bhajadvam hridaye hridishwaram. That is the Brahma Nirvana Sukha. Much, much, much higher and supreme than any other happiness, Brahma Nirvana Sukha. And that is why Bhagavatam is saying, it is declaring again and again, O devotees, worship him. Worship the Lord in your own heart, which Akrura did. Akrura had not met Krishna so far. He was only going. But he was contemplating on him, and he was thinking about him, and he found him in his own heart. He is yet to see Krishna. Now, he was rolling and rolling. While he was rolling, Dadarsha Krishnam Ramam cha Vraje Godohanam Gatau Pita Nilambaradharau Sharadam Buruhe Kshanau. He was, just imagine the scene. It's a very beautiful scene actually. Very, very beautiful. I am thinking that my words are not sufficient to bring about that, to draw that picture in our own minds. Such a beautiful scene. He has reached Vrindavan. He is rolling on the ground, thinking every particle of dust is Krishna himself. He is trying to smear the dust all over his body. And from a distance he saw in the courtyard where milking is going on, Krishna and Balarama are standing. He has come to that point where he sees Krishna now. All this while he was trying to contemplate upon Krishna, seeing him in his own heart. Now he has located Krishna and his eyes have fallen on Krishna and Balarama. How do they look? Pita Nilambaradharau Sharadam Buruhe Kshanau. One is wearing a yellow dress. Krishna wears a yellow dress and Balarama wears a neela colored dress, blue colored dress. And they were having eyes like red lotus. So he's watching from a distance. Kishaurau Shyamalashvetau Sriniketau Brihadbhujau Sumukhau Sundaravarau Valadvirada Vikramau Dhvajavajrankusham Bhojaihi Chinhitairanghribhidrajam Shobhayantau Mahatmanau Anukrosasmite Kshanau Udara Ruchirakridau Sragvinau Vanamalinau Punyagandhanuliptangau Snatau Virajavasasau Pradhana Purushau Adyau Jagadhetu Jagatpati Avatirnau Jagatyarthe Swamshena Balakeshavau Avatirnau Jagatyarthe Swamshena Balakeshavau. Dear devotees, Krishna has come in front of our eyes. Avatirnau, he has descended. He is just here and he looks like this. Kisharau, Shyamalashvetau. He is a Kishora. And these words are being used for both Krishna and Balarama. Both were of the same age, brothers. Only their complexion was different. Krishna was Shyama color and Balarama was fair. Kisharau Shyamala Shvetau, one is Shyamala, another is Shweta, white. Shri Niketau Brihadbhujau, abode of Shri Lakshmi. Brihadbhujau, long arms they had. Sumukhau Sundaravarau, very pleasant face. Sundaravarau, very beautiful to look at. What is beauty? We feel my wife is beautiful, my daughter is beautiful, my son is beautiful. This is much more than that. This beauty never perishes. This beauty is worthwhile to be seen by everybody who has eyes to see. Drishiman Mahotsavan. This beauty is such that whoever sees it will give him Mahotsava, a festivity in the mind. Sumukhau Sundaravarau Balad Virada Vikramau. They had power like young elephants. Dhvaja Vajrankusham Bhojaihi Chinhitair Angribhir Brajam Shobhayantau Mahatmanau Anukrosha. They had the footmarks, flag, thunderbolt, hook and lotus. And this was adding to the splendor of Brajabhumi, Vrindavan. They were Mahatmas. They are noble and high-souled. And when they looked here and there, in their looks and in their smile, they only radiated love and compassion. Udara ruchira kridau sragvinau vanamalinau punyagandhanu liptangau snatau virajavasasau. And they have taken bath, they have worn beautiful dress, they have smeared sandal paste all over their body, so they are very fragrant. They are wearing different garlands of Banamala, the wildflowers, and also they are wearing necklaces of pearl. Udara ruchira kridau. In their movements, there was sublimity and it attracted everybody. Pradhana Purushau Adyau. In them, he saw, are you imagining? He is seeing from a distance. He has not gone there. Pradhana Purushau Adyau. He saw the incarnate Lord in them. And he is the original being. Jagad Hetu Jagatpati. He is the cause of the whole world. From the Supreme Lord, this whole world has come. He is the cause. Jagatpati, master of the world. Avatirnau Jagatyarthe Swamshena Balakeshavau. He is the master. He is the Jagatpati, master of the world. And he is the Jagat Hetu, he is the cause of the world. And he is the original supreme being. But then, why he has come here? As Krishna, and a part of him is Balarama, because he has come avatirnau jagatyarthe, because of the necessity and need which the earth had at that time. The earth was having lot of adharma at that time, asuras and rakshasas, and good people were being tortured. So he has taken birth in this world by his own ichha, by his own will. From a distance he felt, Disho vitimira rajan kurvanau prabhavasvaya yatha marakatas shailo ropyascha kanakachitau. He felt that they are two mountains, emerald color mountains, and lined by golden and silver lines. So he looked at them. When he was looking at them like this and feeling like this, he felt that he could not wait anymore. Rathat turnamavaplutya sokrura Sokrura sneha vihvalaha papata charanopante dandavat Ramakrushnayoho Rathat turnamavaplutya Sokrura sneha vihvalaha papata charanopante dandavat Ramakrushnayoho. Exactly as he had thought, that when he sees Lord Krishna, he will jump out of the Ratha and he will fall at the feet. Exactly that he did. He jumped out and fell at the feet of Balarama and Krishna. Bhagavad darshanallada vashpa paryakulekshanaha pulaka chittanga utkantyat swakhyane nashakanripa. He was so much allada that he was having, so much of delight and ecstasy that he was having, and he was crying so much with his devotion. He fell down at the feet of the Lord Krishna and Balarama, but he did not remember to introduce himself, that who he was, why he has come, nothing. He forgot all that. He was so much full with devotion. But Lord, he picked him up, put his hand on his head and embraced him as exactly Akrura had thought will happen to him, and said, Akrura, you have come? What has brought you here? And Balarama also held his hand, and both Krishna and Balarama took him inside the house. There they made him sit on an elevated seat and washed his feet. He was elder to them. Balarama and Sri Krishna were Kishora, and he is quite elderly. He was actually in relation, a distant chacha of them. So, distant uncle. So, they washed his feet, then they gave him wreaths of flower, gave cows in gift, other things in gift, good dresses as gift, then gave many kinds of food and sat there and fed him. After that, gave betel leaves and all that. Everything done, Krishna and Balarama sat with him. Nandagopa also came there and they started talking to him. Nandagopa was saying, we can very well understand what must be your condition, all the people in Mathura, under the rule of Kamsa. Anyway, please tell us the people that we know of, how all of them are. Krishna and Balarama also asked the same thing, that we understand that your condition is like sheep staying with a butcher. That is, the butcher will be any time killing you. So you are staying with him. So please tell, what is the condition of the countrymen there, and tell us also why you have come. Akrura tells, at that time he discloses everything. He tells what Kamsa has heard from Narada, that Krishna is the son of Vasudeva and not Nandagopa, that this exchange was done on the day of birth of Krishna, and now Krishna has grown up. Kamsa has come to know that he is the one who is going to kill him. And that is why Akrura has been sent to take Balarama and Krishna to Mathura, so that in the name of a Malla Yuddha, wrestling match, Krishna can be killed. Hearing all that, you know what the two brothers did? They laughed heartily. They laughed and said, okay, doesn't matter, we'll go there. Akrura also said, Kamsa has given invitation to Nandagopa and everybody in this cowherd settlement to come there and witness this Dhanuryaga, the bow ceremony, and also see the wrestling match. And you must take milk and milk products in your carts as much as you can, because that will be necessary to feed everybody. So Krishna and Balarama did not tell Nandagopa and the elders there what was the plan of Kamsa. But they knew, and they thought that they will simply go. They have told their father, let us all go in the morning. So when morning came, they started in their chariots. Akrura in the chariot in which Krishna and Balarama are there, and Nandagopa and all his followers, in many, many carts, they were carrying milk and milk products. What happened to the women then? The Gopikas, they started crying. And you know, this is the time Krishna last met them. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kabhibhiriditam kalmashapaham shravanamangalam Srimadatattam bhuvi grinanti te bhurida jana. This is how they were constantly, they never met Krishna again, but they were constantly hearing about him, singing about him, and they still could feel Krishna inside, and they were liberated. So, they were saying, Krishna was their life breath, the Gopikas. And when they heard that Akrura has come, and Akrura is going to take away Krishna from Vrindavan to Mathura, they were grief-stricken, they were overwhelmed with grief, and they were sorrow-stricken. Some fainted, some simply kept quiet and meditated, some sighed, some did not know what was happening to them. Their dresses were falling, their hair was becoming loose, and they became completely oblivious of the whole world. With tears in their eyes, they addressed the Creator. They were asking the Creator that, do you not have any atom of mercy, O Creator? If you do not have, if you had, you would not make such a situation for us. When Krishna is away, what is the use of our eyesight? You gave us eyes to see Krishna and be delighted by his beauty and his guna. By his qualities, we were so delighted. But now that you are taking him away, what is the use of our eyesights? Why should we have eyes even? And how is it that this man who is named Akrura has come here? Why the name Akrura is given to this man? What does Akrura mean? Krura means cruel. Akrura means who is not cruel. So they are saying, this man should have been named Krura and not Akrura. He is giving us so much of torture and sorrow by taking away Krishna from us. And some of them said that we will go and obstruct the chariot. We will not allow the chariot to move from here. All these they were thinking, but they could do nothing. The chariots were going. They ran behind the chariot as long as they could. Then Krishna looked at them and said, I will come back soon. But he could not. This was the end of Krishna's Kaishora. When he went to Mathura, he was still young, and when he killed Kamsa, he had to be Jarasandha, the father-in-law of Kamsa, attacked Mathura so many times that Krishna got involved in ruling the country, in making everybody safe, so his mind was not in play at all. So this is Akrura's story. Akrura's story, little bit is there, though it does not concern Vrindavan, but I'll just tell, and that will be end of Akrura. When Akrura took Krishna and Balarama to Mathura, he requested Krishna, please come to my house. Krishna said, I have come for a particular mission. Till that mission is over, I do not want to do anything else. So after Kamsa was killed, Krishna went to Akrura's house, and there Akrura worshipped him, washed his feet and worshipped him, and Krishna told him, see, you are a devotee who is of a high nature. You are a devotee who has devotion of the supreme kind. When we go to pilgrim centers or we take bath in rivers or other holy water, we feel we are becoming pure. It is not that the holy waters are not holy. It is not that the pilgrim centers are not holy. But when we go to pilgrim spots or when we take a dip in holy rivers, our purification comes slowly. But that is not so when we meet a Mahatma, a Sadhu. When we meet a Mahatma and the Sadhu, our purification is instant. Because they are able to transfer the purity to us. When we listen to them, their whole object will be to purify us. So this is what Krishna told. And then he sent Akrura to see what was happening in Hastinapura. Because he heard that in Hastinapura, Dhritarashtra was not becoming fair to the brothers' children, Pandu's children. So Akrura was sent there. Now, the question is, Akrura got so much of felicity, devotional felicity, and an absorption into the Lord, an attainment of the highest nature which a human being can have. He was going to Vrindavan. He had no other work. He could only contemplate. His mind was one-pointed. So he had this effect. What about the people who are in household, who are in everyday life, doing ordinary common duties and having responsibilities? What can we do? Should we not know what we can do, because we are having to interact every moment with various things? So we say that we are not able to contemplate because our mind gets scattered by many, many incidents. So what should we do? What should be our way? That we must take a lesson. Whatever we have heard in this Akrura's story and whatever we have heard about this one-pointed devotion, it should not be alien for us. We should be able to, it is not that we hear about a devotee, his devotion, and we feel purified in the heart, maybe some tears come to our eyes, but the thing is that from there, what lesson do we get for our own life, for our own benefit? We must think about that. Even in Bhagavatam, everywhere it is written how we must learn lessons from all these stories. We should we are interacting with everything. We are interacting every day with person, places and events. So many interactions in our thoughts, in our speech, in our deed. Every time we have to interact. And we will undergo sometimes fear, sometimes anxiety, sometimes love. So many kinds of emotions will come across. Then, how do we find God there also? Is the question. Do you understand me? This is the main question. This is a very, very important question. That not only in contemplation when you are having only one thought, how in the variety of interactions in the world we can also contemplate and have the benefit of contemplation as Akrura was having. Bhagavata says, whatever you interact with, think that it is God. Kham vayumagnim salilam mahim cha jyotim shisatvani dishodrumadin sarit samudramscha hare shariram yatkincha bhutam pranamedananyah. Kham vayumagnim salilam mahim cha jyotim shisatvani dishodrumadin sarit samudramscha hare shariram yatkincha bhutam pranamedananyah. Kham, Akasha, the sky. Every day we are seeing Akasha. And Vayuhu, that is wind. We live on wind. We have to take air and then also take it out. So every day we are interacting with this, the sky, the air. Agnihi, every day we are also coming in touch with fire. We have to cook our food. We sometimes, if it is very cold, we have to keep fire burning so that we become warm. And Salilam Mahim cha, Salilam is water, Mahim is earth. That is the Panchabhutas. Every day we have interaction with Panchabhutas. Jyotimshi, Jyotimshi. What is Jyotimshi? The celestial objects. The interaction we have very commonly with the Panchabhutas, the 5 elements. And if we look at the sky, we'll find so many celestial objects, the stars, the planets, and so many things. Sattvani disho drumadin, on the elements of this earth. Dishaha is all the directions. If we take a round, we'll cover all the directions. Drumadin, that is the plants and trees. Every day we are coming across plants and trees. Every day we are going either in this direction or that direction or other direction. So these are the common things that we come across. Sarit samudramscha, uncommonly, we may be going near a river or an ocean. So the common things that we come across, when we see that, what we should feel? The question is what? The question is how, being a very common ordinary person, we can have the benefit of contemplation in whatever we are interacting with and feel that kind of devotion which Akrura had felt. So we are interacting with all this. When we interact with all this, what we should think is that, what is this? What are these things? Hare Shariram, everything is the body of the Lord. Have you understood? You know, I first heard this shloka from Swamiji. Swamiji was giving a lecture, and I was like all of you, sitting in the audience and listening. And when I heard this, Hare Shariram, it was such an expanse. This is what we do not think. We interact and we think that we have interacted in a very personal level, in a constricted level, in a limited level. We never think that it is the one part of that all-pervading Lord that I am interacting with. It is in all-pervading Lord, and as He is everywhere, He is in my heart also. So, Bhagavata Shloka says, understanding that every other object is the body of the Lord, a part of the body of the Lord, give a pranam. Pranamedananyaha. If we can do this as a practice, you will find that in no time we will start finding God everywhere. It has to be a practice. I am now coming from what the story we heard and what we have to do as a practice to attain what Akrura had attained. So we have to practice. Practice what? Whether we like somebody, whether we dislike somebody, whether a situation is favorable or unfavorable, whether a place we do not want to go or we have to go. All these things. We must feel that everything belongs to the Lord and Lord alone, because He is all-pervading, He is universal. There is no place where He is not. And thinking that, we must give pranam to everybody. We must practice that. If you feel shy, just now I said, devotees should not feel shy at all. Gatatrapaha, gatalajjaha, vilajja udgayati rauta nrityati. So, we must be vilajja. We must go and give pranam to everybody. You know, we have Bhagavata Satram in Kerala, our ashram and another ashram. The two ashrams we are together performing that. It's a very big program. Every day about 3,000, 4,000 people from morning till evening, they listen to the Bhagavata speeches. There will be about 4 or 5 speeches every day. At the end of the last speech in the evening, when the dusk sets in, Pujya Swamiji, he takes out a Nama Sankirtanam around the Satrashala, that is inside the Satrashala. You can understand, to seat about 4,000 people, how big the area will be, the Sabha. So inside that, he goes 3 rounds chanting Hare Rama, Mahamantra, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And so many people who have come to witness or listen to this Bhagavata Satram, and people who just come from their houses nearby, thousands of people, they follow him 3 times. Sometimes it overlaps. That is, Swamiji must have started from here, and the people who are behind him they will not be able to. They'll overlap, and then only one round will be completed. So there are ladies, some men also. They become intoxicated. So one day I was seeing one lady. She was following actually. After some time she came away from that following and stood at one corner. And she is not young. And she is not middle-aged also. Maybe a little old. With every beat, she was standing and sitting down, and doing like this. That is, Dhyayati Bandate Janam. The shloka that some time back I chanted, a phrase is there, Dhyayati Bandate Janam. That is, she was doing vandana to everybody, saluting everybody, doing namaskaram to everybody, whoever was passing, whether it was a child, but it was a man or a woman or an old person. So much of devotion she was intoxicated with. So, here also, the shloka says, Pranamed Ananyaha. You have one-pointed devotion to the Lord. If you have, make it a practice to see the Lord in everything that happens, in your thought, in your speech, in your action, in whatever you are interacting with, find the Lord and do a pranam. If we do like this, we'll find that very soon we are able to understand that everything is God, and how we can also contemplate in spite of doing whatever we are doing. All our work will be there, all our responsibilities will be there, but still doing everything will have a feeling of association with God. Vani gunanukathane shravanau kathayam hastau cha karmasu manastava padayornaha smritya shirastava nivasa jagat praname drishtis satam darshanestu bhavattanunam Vani gunanukathane shravanau kathayam. Again I would say, don't forget the question now. The question you must keep alive in your mind. If you want to grow in devotion, if you want to grow in your sadhana, your aim should not be lost. The aim should be burning like a blazing fire in front of you. If you lose it, you will lose everything. Whatever happens, you may feel depressed sometimes, you may feel non-enthusiastic sometimes, but get up again. Keep the aim in front that I want to be a devotee. I want to have the lakshanas and characteristics and qualities of a devotee. And this is what the devotees would do. This is what I should also do. What? I must see God everywhere. How? I must practice. In everything in world, practice is necessary. In everything in world, effort is necessary. In this also, effort is necessary. If we want to be a good student, we have to do hard work. If we want to do well in our profession, we have to work hard. If we want to be a very good businessman and have a lot of profit, we have to work hard. Everywhere, even a housewife, to look after a house properly, setting up a house where everybody comes and feels happy and gets food at the proper time and gets everything at proper time, a housewife has to work a lot, has to make a lot of effort, concentrated effort, without rest and sleep. Similarly, for making devotion a pursuit, to be a devotee, one has to make effort. One cannot be lazy. Laziness, that term should be taken away from the dictionary of the mind. One cannot be lazy. One has to make effort, one-pointed effort. And every day one must pray to God, "O Lord, take away the petty matters from my mind." I find that always my mind is constantly chewing the cud of petty matters, useless matters, meaningless matters. "O God, let me be one-pointed. Let me be a one-pointed devotee of yours." So, hard work is necessary. How will you do the hard work? We should not think it is a hard work. When we study, say we are put in school, do we think that we are having to do a lot of hard work? When we earn money, having a profession, we may be getting tired sometimes. But do we think that, "Oh, I cannot do this"? We never think like that. Similarly here, the practice should be simple, effortless, but effortful. Effortless, but effortful. That should be a heart's cry. One cannot but do it. Vani gunanukathane shravanau kathayam. So, what we should do? All our speech, all our words, we should engage in singing His name. What did Shukadeva tell Parikshit? That he is kirtitavyaha, he is smartavyaha. He is the one whose guna and whose exploits and deeds, everything should be sung. Then only slowly the devotion will come and get generated in the mind. Like a child, when the child is born, initially you may not be so attached to the child. But as you handle the child, as the child grows up, the attachment also grows manifold. Similarly, to grow love for the Lord, whom we have not seen. How will we grow love? Only when we sing about Him, talk about Him, and we think about Him. Vani gunanukathane shravanau kathayam. So, you sing His name. Vani, that is words, should be engaged in gunanukathane, talking about the exploits of the Lord. How will you do it? You must read something. Good books like Bhagavatam, or maybe the life stories of some devotees. Read them, discuss with somebody, maybe your husband or wife, even tell the children or grandchildren in a very simple manner the stories. See, to give a lecture also we have to study. Because very vast Bhagavatam. How to remember all these shlokas? So, we have to write down some of the shlokas which we do not know by heart. Then know the meaning, know the word meanings, because sometimes the word meanings, it will reveal its meaning. Maybe today I have read, another day when I read, I find that there is a deeper meaning in it. So, we have to read, and when we read, we have to be giving our mind fully to it. That is also something very beautiful. And I find that when I when I prepare for the lecture, I am not able to stop at the topic that I have been given. It is so devotional. It is so delightful. Bhagavata says, Swadu Swadu Pade Pade. So, every moment, every word, every sentence, it gives so much of delight that you keep on reading it. So this is what you are reading, you share with somebody. Say in a simple word, maybe to your maidservant. You will find that the meanings are becoming clearer. At least until that time, maybe you are cooking and the maidservant is washing the vessels. You can tell the story. You will find till for that time, you are keeping the Lord in your heart. Sometimes while talking to or sharing, you will find tears are coming to your eyes. All this will happen. So, Vani gunanukathane shravanau kathayam. So naturally, your ears also you have to give to His stories, His excellences, descriptions of His excellences, exploits and deeds, everything. So don't allow the ears to listen to criticisms. That is what we do generally. In a group, we always either criticize about somebody or talk badly about somebody or find out fault about somebody. This is what we do, gossiping. So don't allow your words to be useless like this. Don't allow your ears to be listening to such talks. Only listen to that which will elevate your mind. Only talk that which will elevate your mind. Nothing else. Only elevation should be our aim. Elevation of the mind, the intelligence, and the whole being. Hastau cha karmasu manastava padayornaha. Hastau cha karmasu. Whatever you do with your hand, you should feel that you are doing for the Lord. We get up in the morning, maybe first thing we straighten up our bed, and then we wash our mouth, take bath, do the routines one after another. For with everything we should associate God. Like say we have got up and making my bed. We should think, oh Lord, suppose I were to make your bed one day and serve you very closely, what my mind should feel, I must be able to think that. I'll feel so happy, so delighted, so blessed. Let that blessedness be mine right from the morning. Let not any other thought come. Let me always feel blessed and let me be grateful to you. All that you have given, today also you have made me get up in the morning, and my life forces has come because of you. All my organs are acting because you have enlivened them. Let me think that whatever I do. Hastau cha karmasu. So whatever we do from morning till night, whether it is in the house, whether it is in the office and the profession, whether it is in the schools or colleges, everywhere we know we can associate God. By practice, by constant practice, we can remember Him. We'll forget Him. The mind will go here and there. But the moment we remember that we have forgotten, actually we have remembered Him. That moment we have remembered. And you will find those moments will become more and more frequent, that we are remembering and we are not forgetting. Manastava padayornaha. And the mind, let it feel that the mind is always at the feet of the Lord. Yatraiva yatraiva mano madiyam tatraiva tatraiva tavasvarupam yatraiva yatraiva shiro madiyam tatraiva tatraiva padadvayam te. Yatraiva yatraiva mano madiyam. Wherever the mind is, tatraiva tatraiva tavasvarupam. Let me feel and let me see your swarupa there. The mind goes here and there, everywhere, since the Lord is all-pervading. Everywhere let it be the Lord. Let not me think that my mind has gone away. Where will it go? It cannot go away from the Lord's territory. It is everywhere. Lord is there. Yatraiva yatraiva shiro madiyam. And wherever the head is, we must feel that I am doing pranam to the Lord. Similarly, wherever we are sitting, we must feel we are in the lap of God and nowhere else. Let it be under the tree, let it be in an air-conditioned, luxurious room, we are in the lap of God. If these thoughts we can practice and bring about in our mind, it will become natural. It will become one's own. We don't have to think it again and again. Smritya shirastava nivasya jagat pranami. And thinking the whole world to be, O Lord, you yourself. let me always do pranam to the whole world. Drishtis satam darshanestu bhavattanunam. And whomever I see, the devotees, the non-devotees, drishtis satam darshanestu bhavattanunam. May I see your form in everything that I see. This is a sloka. You know, today when I was writing down the points of my lecture, somehow my table is near a window wherefrom I can see outside. I am very much fond of nature, and I have got a gift that in this room I am very close to nature, because one side is the burial ground and another side is that horse riding school. Beautiful trees, big trees, the silk cotton tree with red flowers. There is another tree which I do not know with white flowers. And so many birds are flying. One yellow bird the other day I saw. Today there were other birds, butterflies, all are moving around. And in that I feel I can touch the Creator, the Lord. Today when I was looking out of the window, I was actually going through this verse, and at that time I found the drain also is going by the side of the wall. So from my window I can see all these beautiful scenes, and the drain, the black dirty water carrying all kinds of rubbish, and I was thinking, what a beautiful mixture. This is what God is telling us, that whether you like, whether you do not like, whether it is favorable or not favorable, see in everything the Lord's body. I cannot only be looking at the beautiful scene, the trees, the flowers, the birds and the butterflies. I have to look at the drain also and think that it is you who has taken the form in a drain. Then only we actually attain that one-pointedness where we find everywhere it is God. So from Akrura, the story we heard, and we became Akrura. We went with Akrura to Vrindavan, and whatever feelings and emotions he had, feeling the Lord's pure holy hand on the head, feeling his tight embrace and his words where he called Akrura, we have gone through all that, being identified with Akrura. And from this story, what we have learned, that it is not only when we contemplate, sitting somewhere or only in that thought, what we have to do in our actual life as human beings who are very busy, full of activities, how we can become meditative, how we can become one-pointed in our devotion, and ultimately by practice, and not only a practice, a mechanical practice. It cannot be mechanical. You have to have your heart in that practice. You have to feel that you want it. You have to feel that you want to be a devotee, and you have to feel that you want to be one with God. Then only you can become. Everybody, God has given us all potential. God has given us all kind of opportunities. It is only we that we do not take the opportunities and we do not act. I think with this, whatever little bit we have shared with each other, I think a new day we can start with. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhididitam kalmashapaham shravanamangalam Srimadatam bhuvi grinanti te bhurida jana virachita bhayam vrishnidhuryate charanamiyusham samsritir bhayat karasaroruham kantakamadam shirasi dhehinaha श्रीकरग्रहम्। जय शङ्खगदाधर नीलकलेवर पीतपटाम्बर देहि पदम्। जय शङ्खगदाधर नीलकलेवर पीतपटाम्बर देहि पदम्। जय भक्तजनाश्रय मंगलकारण अन्तिम बान्धव देहि पदम्। जय भक्तजनाश्रय मंगलकारण अन्तिम बान्धव देहि पदम्। जय शङ्खगदाधर नीलकलेवर पीतपटाम्बर देहि पदम्। जय गुरु, जय गुरु, जय गुरु।